Hi, you guys. Welcome back. My name is Carrie Penny. I am the Happy Crafty Homemaker, and today I am super mega genuinely excited to be announcing what we're doing for the 2026 year of the Makealongs. So we have something old, something new, something borrowed, and I'm sure some of us are going to work in something blue. So I am so excited to share with you guys. If you are new to my channel and don't know anything about Year of the Makealongs 2025, that's perfectly fine. This is a just for fun make along. Occasionally, I might draw a random winner to send a pattern to, with the exception of the month of May, but we'll get to that. May is special. That is Carrie's special month. But for the rest of the year, at random, I'll send somebody a pattern or gift somebody a ball of yarn or send a little trinket box to somebody. No major giveaways or anything like that associated with this. For 2025, we focus very heavily on using our stashes and trying to use up things that we already had, and especially the things we had hidden from our own selves. So for 2026, we are definitely still going to be focusing on stash because I obviously still need to be focusing on my stash, but we have some new things. A lot of these were viewer suggestions. We also have quarterly focuses. So we'll get into all of that. If you are new, I do have a Facebook group. Every month I put a pinned post up so you can share your pictures under that. I do mid-month check-ins as well as end of the month check-ins to share your projects, share my projects, talk about what I did and didn't do, how I did and didn't do with the goals. You guys have done phenomenal jobs every single month. We've done 11 months of these now. I've seen the projects for November, even though I haven't compiled the video yet. And I'm just saying, you guys rose to the occasion. So I'm very, very excited about this. So we also have a Ravelry group. Same thing. There's a pinned post every month. Put your projects underneath there. I copy the pictures, put them into the video, share them. If you don't want to be shared for some reason or don't want to be entered into a giveaway that I may or may not be running in the background, let me know. That's fine. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I like seeing what you guys are working on, and I love seeing you guys support each other as we're going through this process. So the community boards are very important. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below in my videos. My community here is phenomenal. I have a very small community. I have a very small subscriber base, but they are mighty and they are loving and they are super kind. So if you have a question, leave it down below. A lot of times somebody else will answer it before I can even get to it, but I will get to it if for some reason nobody else has answered. Also, Facebook group and Ravelry group. I check Ravelry about every other day. I check Facebook generally every day. So, make-alongs. I'm so excited. So January, we are, after talking to you guys and how it worked out last year, we are swapping January and February, but they kind of oddly tend to play into each other as well. So for January, we are finishing the WIPs and lingering UFOs. So many of us are going to have those scraggling projects from 2025 that we're bringing into the first part of the new year. So we're just January, we're going to focus on knocking all that stuff out, finishing up all those WIPs. Anything that we didn't get finished, if you were following along with Project UFO, well, we're going to keep that a coming. So that'll give me personally, hopefully, God willing, about 6 weeks to dedicate to UFOs. Maybe I can get a little bit more of a dent in that Project UFO list, but very excited. If for some reason you don't want to knit and crochet this covers, if you've got a scrapbook you've been working on, if you've got a quilt that you've been working on, share those as well. This isn't, when I say MAL, this is crafting at large. This is, I will speak in terms of yarn crafting specifically, but if you do other crafting and still want to join us for this, come right along, because in many cases, these are kind of interchangeable, and we like seeing your projects too. So bring it on in. So the month right up. Finish UFOs and lingering WIPs. Let's start the new year by cleaning out the visual noise, what's hanging over our heads, and what's stopping us from enjoying a new project that we want to immerse ourselves in. This is also a wonderful time to clean up and tidy our stashes, our WIP baskets, and make sure that we're taking inventory of everything we have. It isn't always the most exciting thing to approach, but I would argue that it is always fun once you get started. The things we may find, the treasures we've forgotten about, let's start the new year in a happy place with a happy space. So we're going to just work on cleaning up all that noise. And I'm not going to show you the mess. There is a path from here to the door. There's a number of WIPs in said mess. There's also just the fallout from Project Christmas Blanket, extra balls of yarn and things like that I still need to count. But yeah. February. Use the new yarn, use the good yarn. After all the holidays have passed, we've gotten our homes cleared out of decor and trimmings and trappings. The gifts are put away. We've done for others and forgotten to fill our own cup. February has now got you covered. Let's take a break after 2025 and finishing up our UFOs and lingering WIPs. Let's get a jump start on spring cleaning, find all of our hiding spaces that we shove things from company, and get those projects back out and the hooks and the needles. So I know I'm really bad. Troy and I do Christmas on our own. Then the family comes over. So it's even if he gives me yarn or something, it gets shoved in holes all over the house and I have to go find it and pull it back out. Thankfully, I have a wall that I can shelve things on eventually. But after all the holidays are done, I'm finding stuff generally through April that I've hidden from company. Little fingers, or we thought everybody was done coming, and then a brother-in-law will come into town and you have to clear the space again. So February, find the new yarn and use the new yarn, or the good yarn if you just have good yarn in your stash. And good yarn is up to you. It's what you are excited to work on, not some arbitrary yarn snob's opinion of what good yarn is. We don't play the yarn snob game here. It's what you like and what you enjoy working with. March. This is going to scare a number of you guys, and I 100% understand, but March is garments. Baby garments, toddler garments, adult garments. I'm not, once again, we're playing your rules. I'm setting up some guidelines. Now it's time for you to make the rules for yourself. But garments. I know that this is scary for a lot of people. A lot of people are just in the phase of finishing, hats and scarves and shawls. That's great. But the skills you learn from making garments, whether you want to do a sweater or a cardigan or a pair of shorts or a pair of pants, for garments, I would take socks just because they're multi-directional. Mittens, socks, things like that, where you have to think in multiple directions and build your work in multiple directions. I will accept those as well. But I was really thinking more for people who are very intimidated by sweaters. And this is something a number of you guys came to me about. The two things that have intimidated you the most are sweaters and socks. Sweaters are it's a big project. It's a big thing to take on. And if you've never worked in the increasing and decreasing, or you don't understand sleeve shaping and shoulder shaping and stuff, all those can be very intimidating. And I understand that. I've been there. I've made my first sweaters before and they weren't great, but it was a learning process. It was worth having done them. So for the month of March, we are going to focus on sweaters. Okay. So I know this is a huge jump for many of us, but there is no time like today to give it a whirl. There's so many different places to start making garments if you're nervous. Tank tops, sleeveless boat necks, flutter sleeves. For others of us, we have started 2 or 3 sweaters and they're hiding because we got too distracted from endless rows of doing the same stitch. There are also many of us who have a pattern that we've been sitting on, just waiting for the right time to start. It's still cool enough for sleeves, but we could always start expanding our summer wardrobe now. So this is a wide open arena of what we can focus on, but this is partially skill building and partially, once again, let's flesh out those wardrobes. Let's be looking nice. When you make it yourself, you can fit it to your body. You can fit it to somebody else's body and get the shape that you actually want. It's my favorite part of making sweaters. I like mine long with a little pull in at the waist. Let's accentuate the figure that I do have from the front and not the that I have from the side. My front and my profile are very different looking. They do not match whatsoever. Anyway, I love making garments. I don't do enough of it, and I do have a couple that are started. I also would like to take this time to practice with my flatbed knitting machine as well. So I'm very excited. I didn't think about that until just now, but I will be taking advantage of the month of March. I have a couple of tank tops that I would definitely want to play with. So for the month of April, color, 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 literally. Colors, colors, colors. Spring is springing. It's time for colors, all colors, any colors, as many colors as you can work with in a project. This month's project needs to have at least 3 colors, any shape, any kind, any fiber. Just bring the colors to the table this month. If you are also trying to work from stash, this is a great month to pull out those cakes and variegated yarns that we have all over. So once again, I am definitely not color adverse. I do have some neutrals. I have some lovely neutrals. This is navy blue. I know you can't see it through the bag, but it's a gorgeous, gorgeous, rich navy blue. But color, color, colors, colors. And it's worse when you get down to the fingering weights and things like that. So April, let's bring out those colors. Let's have fun with those colors. Let's let the spring pop. We're going to shine. May. So if you are new here, you may not know, but May is my month. May is the Spook Your Spring Makealong. May is special. I love May. So I have zero issue with Christmas in July, but I love Halloween. I love costumes and scary movies, and I'll be honest, I don't mind candy corn. Good candy corn, but I don't mind candy corn. I am all for the fall aesthetic, but I love Halloween. So for May, we do the Spook Your Spring Makealong over here. Spook Your Spring Makealong, it is the time to pull out the spooky mojo and maybe a scary story or two. It's time for the annual Spook Your Spring Makealong. There will be prizes, drawings, inspiration, suggestions for what to read, watch, and listen to. While I love Christmas in July, I would love to take some time to buffer my fall and Halloween crafts too. Let's get a jump start on making our skeletons, pumpkins, and fall decor. As always, all crafts are welcome. This is one of the few months where a prize will where to win a prize, a finished project is a must. No other month is this a must. But for May, the project does have to be started in May and finished in May. You have 4 weeks to make spooky. And I want to see all the spooky cards, notebooks, journals. I know a number of you guys work in polymer clay as well as yarn crafting. Whatever craft you have, make it spooky. That's all I ask. Just make it spooky. I've done some crazy things over the last couple of years. I made a Freddy Krueger inspired cardigan last year. I crocheted a wig a couple of years ago. I've done kind of a Vlogmas style thing, sharing the card making process from picking out the paper pad to breaking it down, using card sketches, getting everything kind of combined and kind of showing how I assembly line things. I mean, it's just a time for fun. It's an exciting month for me. I do generally have a list of channels that I listen to that are ghost stories and stuff. So I I hope you will join us, if for nothing else, for the month of May, for the Spook Your Spring Makealong. Sorry, it's a lot of talking. I'm only halfway through the year. For June, let's start something big. So I know that I am not the only one that has been scrolling Instagram, Pinterest, or Facebook and seen a large project that I wanted to start, but told myself, not now. Why not this month? Not to mention the projects I've pulled together in bags and haven't started because maybe tomorrow. Let's go ahead and get those bags out, pull out patterns, and get started on something that will take us a while to make. If it is for Christmas, you can carry this on to Christmas in July for the month of July's Makealong too. Whether it's a sweater, a blanket, an ami with too many pieces, it feels large and intimidating or will take thought, let's get started today. So again, we're back to, you don't have to finish a project. Just share where you are, share your progress, share what you've been working on, share what you've gotten through. That's all I'm looking for. These are just like the jumping off sentences you get for like story writing. That's what these are. These are just prompts. These are just crafting prompts for you, and you get to run wild with it. I have a number of large projects that I really like to make at some point. I have a llama corner to corner blanket. I want the finished object so bad. I have a couple of sweaters that fall in this category. I do have the Persian tiles kit, the original one from Dara Moore's. Troy got it for me for Christmas, and I would love to make that. So there are a number of things that fit in this, as well as I have my That's About Yarn or something like that, cowl blanket that I never finished. I mean, there's just so many things that fall in this category. So big, intimidating, and takes thought. That's what we're working on. That's even if we're only working on 3 or 4 rows at a time, or like 1 square a week, we don't have to do huge. We don't have to think, everything has to be done in huge blocks. We can pace ourselves on these larger projects and intersperse other things within. That's how I get through. Like, I'll have months where I finish nothing, and then I'll have other months where it's like 900 finished objects. So that's why that happens. I work on a lot of larger projects that just take forever, or I lose steam on and have to come back to later. So anyway, July, as already mentioned, will be Christmas in July. Let's go ahead and get a jump start on Christmas and winter holidays, whether it's getting started on gifts, decor, or things that just remind you of the holiday season. Grab those reds, greens, whites, blues, or whatever your heart desires and get thinking some cooler thoughts. So July here's miserable. So thinking about snowy mountaintops would not be a bad thing for me. Just saying. It would not be a bad idea. For August, we're going to focus on single skein projects. Again, it's a hot month. Like, nobody wants to have an entire blanket rolled up on their lap. We want light, easy, airy, transportable projects. Since many of us are in the hottest part of the year, the last thing we want is a blanket draped across our lap or wool sweaters to try on. We're going to focus on single skein projects, socks, dishcloths, booties, hats, whatever strikes your fancy. This is just a time to focus in on what you can get from your single skeins. This is also a great time to maybe use that special yarn you picked up last year on vacation, or get a jump start on your Christmas gifts. So again, you can use this as an opportunity to think forward to your Christmas gifts. I know we have one trip we're hopefully going to go on this coming year, and I am hoping, I am really hoping to come back with a couple skeins of nice yarn. We'll see. But yeah, so that would be an awesome time, if I get some single skeins while I'm there, to maybe use a single skein or two. I'm so excited. September. So we're going to come back to the scraps and leftovers just like we did in 2025. So as I said, we're now heading into the busy season. All of the holidays are coming up. fall sports, and company tends to leave us with limited time to ourselves. For September, let's start cleaning up the mess we've been making for the last 8 months with all of our projects and use up the scraps and leftover skeins. This is also a perfect time to start making small gifts, either for craft shows or to just have on hand for an unexpected guest. So, you made some dishcloths and stuff out of a cone and you're left with like bits and bobs, like the fold over pot holders are great. Apparently my brother really likes the ones I sent him. We also have, I took my less than 10 gram minis a couple years ago of fingering weight, held them double, and just tied in the new skein as I went, or new ball as I went. And you did a DK hat pattern and then a matching cowl. I mean, just there's so many things you can do with your scraps. And I think we often forget that we can combine scraps together and hold them double or triple to make projects. I actually have a sweater pattern that I really want to make that uses fingering weight held triple. I don't know if I'll get to it this year, but I really want to make it. October is something new. Whether you've had your eye on a new yarn you're just dying to try, or there's a new technique you want to learn, you just want to try a new pattern from a beloved designer, let's work on it or with something that is new to us. A little treat to ourselves before the holidays start to take over our lives. Let's indulge ourselves with our time to make something for our pleasure and not just work leisure. So once again, just like we're doing in February, we're coming off the holiday season where we're doing constantly for others and constantly on the move and go. I mean, I know I basically don't sit down from Halloween to March 1st. And then starts Lent right after that. So I'm still busy. But before we go crazy, before it all starts to fall apart and we have 20 ends being unraveled at once on us, let's take the month of October to kick back and just enjoy something new or new to us. Once again, it falls in that scratching your brain, starting a new pattern, getting a new, going to your Stittionary and trying new stitches. So like if you're wanting to focus on dishcloths or something, great. Make a new stitch. Go to your Stittionary. If you've never tried the Westcott stitch, try that. Or if you've never tried the lemon peel stitch, try that. If you've never tried crocheted cables, do a border on a blanket using a double twist cable. Just having fun with what we're doing and expanding what it is that we do when we spend our time crafting. I think it's an important thing for us, and I think we tend to neglect it as the crafters. So once again, let's just treat ourselves in the month of October. There's a lot of treating ourselves this year and being patient with ourselves and being kind with ourselves. There's some themes flowing, and it really wasn't intentional quite like that. For November, we're again doing donations and gifts. Let's limit how many things we're struggling to finish Christmas Eve night and get rolling on some gifts. Also, this is a time of year when many organizations are in need of hats, scarves, shawls, and lap gowns. I don't normally give a whole bunch of handmade gifts personally, but I do like to have small gifts on hand in case we get invited to lunch or a friend stops by unexpectedly. There are so many reasons we can give for making items that are donatable and giftable. It's the same thing we did in 2025, where it's just an opportunity to get a head start on those things, maybe finish up some of the things we started in July with Christmas in July. So December, same thing we did this year with 2025. We are going to pick our favorite month. Okay, for 11 months of being focused on what I have chosen, no one needs this kind of stress this time of year. Take a chance to treat yourself to your favorite month's target. This time of year should be relaxing, but still focused on destashing and working with intention and preparing for all the wonderful goodies we have on our wish list for the holidays. So again, we're loving ourselves and taking time to really love the passion of what we're making. Crafting is a very love-driven activity. You have to love what you're doing in order to continue making. And sometimes, like I said, we turn it into kind of work leisure, where we, it's things like what I'm working on now, where Project Christmas Blanket has been very consuming, especially these last couple of months where I'm trying to finish these blankets. I have a deadline. I have 3 more to go. I've got to work. Like, this has to be what I'm working on. And it makes it, while I'm enjoying it, don't get me wrong, I am enjoying these blankets and how they're coming together. Each one has been very surprising as it's coming together as to how much I love it. I'm going to have some issues Christmas Eve as I'm tying names and ribbons on these things, because I want to keep at least 3 of these. And it's very hard. It's very hard to go ahead and gift these blankets. But I've got stress on me. I can't start any of the new things. Now, normally I would have started like 30 projects by now. I can't start anything new. I am in project lock. I have to finish these. So this coming year, when I'm not going to decide to make 10 blankets that have to be gifted on Christmas Day, I would like to reclaim some of that time and that energy and loving what I'm doing and loving what I'm making and really enjoying the process of starting a new project and delving into it and just being excited by the project itself for the project's sake, regardless of what it is. So I know a lot of other people have years like this where they feel the pressure and it's more of a work activity than a leisure activity. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with turning your passion into a job either. But sometimes we need that mental break and we need the grace to give that to ourselves. So December, once again. Now, we have a secondary MAL that's going to run in parallel with this. And that is going to be using our stash. So if you are entering both, just let me know, hey, this is all stash yarn or 90% stash yarn or 60% stash yarn or whatever. Following with this month's theme. Or this quarter's theme. So for quarter 1, because that's generally, most of my viewers are in North America. So that's going to be our coldest months. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Australia. There are a couple of you guys, and I'm very, very sorry. But I know you're going to be in the middle of August, or what's our August weather, but majority rules on this one. So bulky yarns, bulky, super bulky. I have worked mine down to where it's just 1, 2, 3, 4 cubes, plus a couple of random balls of bulky. But we're going to focus on the heavier stuff. Then quarter 2, we're going to go to DK weight and sport yarns. For quarter 3, which will encompass the hottest months in the Southeast, is fingering weight yarn. And then quarter 4 will be worsted weight yarn. So not quite heavy enough to be uncomfortable or anything, but yeah. So we're going to focus on those parts of our stash, those yarns in our stash. And this goes for any type of scrap projects that you're working on as well. I consider scraps and leftovers part of your stash. To me, that's natural. I did have quite a few people ask me about that over the course of the year since we were focusing on stash for 2025. To me, leftovers and scraps are definitely part of your stash. So if you have a bunch of like fingering weight minis you want to use those in quarter 3 towards that Makealong. We will do some sort of quarterly check-ins as well with using those parts of our stash. The first quarter, probably I won't get too far. I think there's only 1 yarn here that I'm super interested in using. The rest of it, it's kind of like, I don't have a plan or an idea of where this could go. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. It's still early. I've got a couple weeks to worry about it. But that is the plan for 2026. What do you think? What months are you the most excited for? Do you already kind of have little ideas floating around? Is the little idea fairy sprinkling you with little ideas? Once again, if you are new here, welcome. You are very welcome here. Check out the Facebook group, answer all 4 questions. There are 4 questions that you need to answer. Otherwise, I will not allow you to join the group. And that is because I need to make sure you're not a bot and that you actually are agreeing to our rules. So that is the only thing. We do have the Ravelry group. There's no point of entry or anything there. So I love you guys. I hope that you are having a wonderful, fantastic day. And I look forward to seeing you guys real soon. Bye, guys.